It appears that they've managed to reach a compromise in what seems to be a fairly easy way, which is everybody gets everything they want. But is there ever going to be a time when the American public, the voters, hold them to account?
Well, that's a good question. I suspect it will occur when we have a fiscal crisis, which is a distinct possibility, not in the immediate future, but in the future, definitely, as our debt gets to a point where it's not sustainable. The fact that the Chinese, for example, are now talking about, the Chinese ambassador today are actually openly talking about stopping their purchasing of federal debt is a very significant issue in and of itself, because that will put tremendous pressure on our ability to sell debt when we're running these very high deficits. So the potential for a crisis is there, but my guess is that the American people aren't going to focus on this until that happens. If they were focused on it, then the Congress wouldn't be passing all these proposals which spend massive amounts of money and pass the bills on to our kids. It just wouldn't be happening because it's totally irresponsible.
So Sherry, the governor actually is referring to your interview with the ambassador from China to the United States that you talked to him earlier today about this very subject.
Yeah, Ambassador Sui Tiankai saying that they're looking at all options, which also includes, of course, curbing those purchases of treasuries. Governor, when President Trump talks about the relationship with China and a potential trade war, he's saying that it's going to be easy to win a trade war. Who has the bigger leverage here?
Both sides will suffer dramatically in a trade war. We are trading nations, in China and the United States. Massive amounts of our economic prosperity depend on our ability to sell goods to each other. Americans who buy things at Walmart, things that they couldn't afford if they weren't produced in China, see their standard of living much higher because of that. Americans who sell high-quality products to China, such as in New Hampshire, where 40% of our exports are value-added exports, a lot of them going to China, benefit dramatically from the jobs that those create. We are a trading nation, and when you get into a trade war, you chill and sometimes contract dramatically the ability to create economic activity, and therefore you end up reducing the standard of living of both sides. And it's a huge mistake to initiate a trade war, because it's like lighting a wildfire. You just have no idea how you get it under control once it gets started.